Morning, everyone. I am sharing some my wonders and ponders here. If you have not been following me before, I have this idea that if we spend some time on the things that occur to us as important and start wondering about things instead of already having an opinion about them. I'm just looking for my, oh, here it is. If we have an opportunity to wonder about things that we don't necessarily have all the information about, or that we haven't looked for someone else as an authority yet. We're just wondering. This is what I call it, our wonders and ponders. I have a little notebook that I created for last year's chill out event, and it's a weird size, so it should stick out a little bit. And it comes from my days as a journalist. This was the size of a reporter's notebook. And the idea was it would fit in a pocket or it would fit in a bag, and it would be really easy to pull out, um, you know, pull back the cover and take notes. And so my idea was that if we have something we really wonder about, we could write it down so we don't forget it, and then we could spend time pondering it. Not because we are necessarily looking for ways to prove that an opinion is right. It's not necessarily like a scientific experiment where we have a hypothesis and then we're looking for evidence to prove that our hypothesis is correct, but more like a lab where we would say, I wonder if there's another way to look at this. I wonder if there's more to this. And that language is used really on purpose, the wonder and the ponder, because in that space of consciously getting out of judgment, there's a lot that can be available to us. What I know about the work I've been doing over the last 20 years in awareness and mindset and those kinds of things, self awareness, you will find what you're looking for. And I can't even disprove that anymore. And there's so much science to back that up. Quantum physics backs that up because going back to experiments that were done in the 30s, maybe 20s, 1930s and 1920s. I have to say that now. Wow, it's weird. The wave and particle theories, you saw what you were looking for, and then the whatever's observed changes so that it occurs the way the observer is observing it. More ways you can look at that. There's something called the double slit experiment you can check out if you're you want more information about that. But I've stopped trying to disprove that, and I've just accepted that my reticular activation system gets awakened when I am looking for something. All of these theories that have been in the background of my life, most of my life, as they come to the forefront, I recognize I'm not alone in the way I've been thinking about things, where I thought I was for so long in my life. There's a theory or a scientific principle or something that can back up a lot of the things I've experienced. And by bringing those things to my consciousness, by actually writing them down, by wondering about things and then pondering them, and then the next step would be to talk about them with someone who is at least interested in the conversation of things, not in the proving of things wrong. And I think that's where we've gotten stuck a little bit these days in so many topics and subjects. It seems that we are looking desperately to be right about things, and so we will throw out a meme or a thought, and we will say, who agrees with me? And then the people in the comments will go, yes, 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 you're so smart, this is so right. And then one person might say something different, and then the whole group attacks that different opinion. It's no wonder we have echo chambers all over the place, because it's not safe to explore a different way of seeing things or a different opinion of things. I'm going to just turn off my notifications here because the beeping kind of gives me FOMO, right? What am I missing when my email alert comes up? So I wonder, again, wonder and ponder, I wonder if there's another way of seeing things around us than only with the eyes that would have us say, I need to be right about this. Because the best way I can feel good about myself is to find a topic, a subject that I can be right about. The conspiracy theories that are just circling the fires in California, or I mean, pick a topic, pick a subject. There are so many conspiracy theories because people believe that someone's out to get us. There's always evil at play. And if you don't believe me, if you're not with me, then you're against me. And we have divided ourselves in so many camps. It doesn't even matter the topic. Pick a topic. Sorry, I still have a frog in my throat from getting a cold over Christmas. It's a long time ago. Anyway, there are so many places we can divide. So many. And if we look at the world dualistically, like a right, wrong, up, down, good, bad, in, out, and everything has an opposite, then we will always try to find the right one if we're operating in an unconscious space. Because our fight or flight system, our limbic system, really just wants to keep us safe. That's unconscious to us. We're not aware of that. And that unconsciousness just wants to keep us safe. It's like a 6-year-old. Your unconscious is like a 6-year-old working in the background of your life. And when you're conscious of things, you can make different choices. But when you're unconscious, you do things out of habit. You do things because you've always done them that way. I remember being raised in a family where we had a certain way of seeing religion. And unless you were in that religious, division, I suppose, you were wrong. And then my job was to pray for everybody who wasn't in my own little narrow slice of religion, because they were all going to hell. And luckily for me, I guess, and my family, we were plopped in the right one. And the more I bring this to consciousness, the more I think that doesn't even really make any sense. There's a whole conversation we could have about religion, and we could have about, a lot of things in that realm, spirituality, religion. I was driving to my office this morning, and I heard an advertisement for the Freedom from Religion Foundation. FFRF, Freedom from Religion Foundation, which is a membership group where you can join it if you believe that we should be atheists, or we should get, religion out of politics and schools and everything. And it's really kind of interesting to see that there are people who are like, yeah, I want to be part of this group that has freedom from religion. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying it's kind of curious to me, because then there's a for us or against us. And if you don't believe the way we do, then you're wrong. That could be a way. Eileen, hi, good morning. Most definitely. I'm not sure exactly which comment you were commenting on, but yeah, I think it's just fascinating to me to observe. Again, get into wonder and ponder mode, right? Wonder, ponder. And I guess the way I can observe best, especially if I'm not in a highly populated area of the world, is social media. And so that's not the best. I know it's not. And I'm just doing my best to stay observational about things. And I see comments and I go, wow, I wonder about that. And then I can ponder that. I have a couple people I keep on my Facebook feed because they have such diametrically opposed ideas. Hi, Gail. Hi, my cousin Gail. We have such diametrically opposed ways of seeing the world, these two people that I'm thinking of in particular, that I'm fascinated by what they continue to post. And their posts are things like, I was saying earlier, the conspiracy theories about the fires, and here, wake up everyone, this is what's happening, and like the attitude of it is, if you don't believe this, what are you, stupid? And so all of this is just fascinating to me. And as I observe, in doing my best to stay non-judgmental about that, stay in an observational space, I can be a lot more open to other points of view. That might be seen as wishy-washy to some. They might say, well, take a stand. Well, okay, I could join that because that's what most people are doing. Or I could say, one thing that I truly care about is finding a place where there is a middle ground. Whether that's, pick your topic, right? Education, religion, business, it doesn't matter, government. In any of actually those four are pretty big buckets. If you just think about those four: education, religion, government, and business. And I guess if I think about those four, and I think about the place that I feel called to make a difference in the world, it's always been business. Just because I know most humans spend probably a third of their lives in some sort of business, some sort of way of making a living. And so in that space, I've built my career as a consultant, a facilitator, a coach in the space of business. How might we operate our businesses more consciously? How might we come to a place where we are, yes, looking to make a profit, of course, and also looking to make a difference? And that's how my work has always been. And, call that touchy-feely, call that crazy. People have called it everything. I'm not um, wildly rich. I'm not building amazing wealth, because that point of view is a minority view. And so it has been challenging to share the way I want to be a facilitator in the world with businesses who have a different point of view. And if we think of things as just black and white, up and down, in and out, dualistic, then it's either make business or make a profit or make a difference. And it may be seen as those things don't come together. And I know that's not true. And so I continue to come up with ideas, wonders and ponders about how those things could come together. And so right before Christmas, I released my latest book called Just Give a Shit. And this book isn't very long. There aren't a lot of pages to it, but there is a lot of wonders and ponders, a lot of things to think about. And the subtitle is Dare to Care, Get Real, and Transform Your World. And those words were used very purposefully. Dare, it takes courage, right? Dare to care. Get real, the whole concept has 4 sections, REAL, radical, energized, authentic, and learning focused. Digs into each of those a little bit. And then transform. Transform is not change. There's a big distinction between change and transformation. Transform your world. Not necessarily the whole wide world, but your world. And your world could be the world of your family. It could be whatever your world is. If you really find something you truly give a shit about, you truly care about, are you willing to take action? Are you willing to put that into the world? Are you willing to not only talk about it, but actually do something about it? I'm not lecturing about that. I'm asking myself the same question. And so what I'm recognizing for myself is something I care deeply about and really give a shit about is coming together, is finding ways that we connect, ways that we do share things in common, even if it seems we're diametrically opposed in the subjects we're talking about. I will do everything in my power to find that place where we come together. If 2 people are fighting about, I'll just use blue and red because that political colors. If they're fighting about this and everything a blue person believes is a why can't I say that word? Diametrically opposed to what a red person thinks or sees, I'll keep going. Well, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? Eventually we can get to we all like pizza or something, right? If we go deep enough, if we take enough time, if we truly give a shit about where we come together, where purple is created from red and blue on the color scale, if we really truly care about that, then we will continue a conversation in a different way. And that's what I'm here to do. I truly believe I am created. I was created for this. I was made for this. And so back in, I don't even remember, 2016 maybe, I bought a website called purpledialogue.com. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. My thought was, wouldn't it be cool if we had people from both sides of the political spectrum in the United States talking about things that they have in common? That would be purple. And I never did anything with it. I just held on to it. I owned it. I kept paying for it every year. And finally, this was the year, because this was a year when I really doubled down on that concept, where there's got to be something that we have in common, even if it feels like we are so separated, especially now, a week before, not even a week, a few days before the inauguration of the next president, which is just a really volatile time. And as I'm observing, let's just use politics as that subject for now, as I'm observing things that people are posting, man, they are just giving you statements. This is what it is. And then I'm watching the comments, as I said earlier. Yes, 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 you're so smart. I'm so glad. Or one person will say, I don't agree. And then they just get attacked. It seems that the way we can feel the best about ourselves is to throw gotcha bombs at somebody else, which is, gotcha, you made a mistake, you're stupid, let me throw this bomb, and have my troops behind me say, yep, thank you for saying that, I'm so glad you did. And we've got this troop behind us helping us be brave about, I suppose maybe we give a shit about making people feel horrible. Maybe that's what we give a shit about. I'm going to prove to you that I'm right. In fact, one guy yesterday was so funny because I told you there are two people that I still have and I follow. One of them said something about politics, and I said, wouldn't it be just so much easier if we only had one party? Being facetious. And he said, yes, we would have far fewer problems. And I think he thought I was kind of agreeing with him on what he was saying. And it just kind of proved my point. Yes, if we only had one party, if everybody thought the way I did, if everybody in the whole wide world thought the way I did, wouldn't the world be a better place? And that's what he was implying. And so I'm getting into my wonder ponder mode, and I'm like, would it be? Would it be a better place if every one of us thought the same way? And then I'm thinking back to 1984, the book 1984 by George Orwell, and we read that when I was in high school. And I'm thinking, really? Do you want people who all think the same way? And Big Brother is watching out for all of us and telling us what to do, and we have no reason to actually use any kind of critical thinking skills? I mean, that's what's gotten us into this situation right now. We've been taught what to think, not how to think. I was never taught how to think. I was curious as a little kid, and I'd ask questions, and I'd get, this is a strong language for now, but it's in looking back. I felt that I was getting chastised for asking questions. Probably not true. I was just curious. And in that space of, tell me more about that, or help me. Wasn't using this language then, but help me understand that better. I want all the facts. I want the whole big picture. And then I want to be able to discern for myself how that lands. That's what I was trying to say back then. But of course, I didn't have that language when I was a little kid. Now, as a consultant, because what I care about is having companies and organizations that come together to achieve their purpose, to make their product or give their service. If we can do that in a way where we value everybody who's working at that organization, wouldn't that make things easier? I think you can still have your opinions, of course. I don't know, I'm making up I prefer the color orange. I like the color orange. I don't know why. Orange and reds. If you look at my logo, Get Real with Jody Bach, or my podcast, it's oranges and reds. I just prefer those colors. And that doesn't mean people who like other colors are bad. I mean, I still have preferences. I don't care how much you try. I'm probably not going to like peanut butter. It's just a preference. I mean, what's wrong with that? That makes the world beautiful. That wildly expands our opportunity to provide services to people. If we provide services for this slice of people, well, isn't it a good thing that we have people who want what we are offering, and not just, I suppose people would say, no, it would be great if the whole world wanted my product. But all of that is just kind of an interesting conversation. So unless you know yourself well enough to know what you truly give a shit about, what is important to you, what matters to you, what is something that you are willing to have a really, I'm going to say difficult conversation about. I don't mean difficult in that it's hard to do it. It's just difficult because so many people want to poke holes in opinions. And yet what's really funny is people are willing to share their opinions with anybody. This is the way it is. So if we have opinions that differ from the majority, where do we go? What do we do? Wouldn't it be great to be in a space where you can kind of practice your point of view, practice the things that you think you believe, and then have somebody in a safe space say, oh, have you thought about this? Because then together we're building something that's much stronger, because we're offering different points of view so that we can say, I never thought about that. I never felt safe to explore that before. What would happen in that space, in the area of innovation and creativity and new products and new offerings, in my opinion, and again, I can be wrong about this, but in my opinion, the best of all of us comes together when we feel safe. When we are in a place where we can say, Callie, this has just been on my mind and my heart for a long time, but I really haven't known who I could flesh it out with. That's why I'm so committed to building community. And so community just means come together, coming together. Communities of people in person would be awesome. And we have so much great technology right now that doesn't require us to be in person. There are so many opportunities to find your community, find your people, find your tribe, find those people who want to go in the same direction you do. Maybe they don't think exactly the way you do, but they're respectful and open and curious and want to learn how to listen better and want to be in that space where my listening can actually produce better speaking for you or others, and vice versa. If we're speaking into a no space, a space of like the energy's no, this is dumb, I'll listen to you, but this is stupid. That, if we're speaking into that kind of space, that restricts the possibility for what Napoleon Hill calls the mastermind to come into the conversation. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had a conversation with a friend? You go out for a drink or a dinner or something, and you don't bring with you an agenda. Let's make sure we talk about this and this and this. If you're truly with a friend you care deeply about, or a family member or somebody, you can be safe. You can allow thoughts to come to you because the other person and you are having a mutual dialogue where you don't probably do this consciously, but suspending previous assumptions in order to learn from each other makes both of us wiser and more confident. And all of those things that seem to be missing when we find ourselves so divided. I just really feel strongly. I give a shit about this. I feel really strongly about this. And whatever, again, pick a topic, pick a context. It doesn't matter. I bet you can find ways we are trying desperately as a society to divide in those ways. If you don't think Coke or Pepsi, Walmart or Target, there's one or the other. What do you prefer is one way of saying that, which is great. But what should I prefer based on your ideas for me is a completely different conversation. So these are the kinds of topics that I wonder and ponder about. And it kind of led to this book, Just Give a Shit. Because it really is so simple. Just find something you truly care about and then do something about it. So this is the context around our next chill out retreat, March 5th to the 7th here in Fargo. And this will be our third annual. We're doing it a little bit differently this year, where we're not having actual formal presenters as we have in the last couple of years. I'm going to ask you who are curious about a space like this to bring with you something you truly give a shit about. What is it? Is it, I'm thinking about a friend I have who I know is coming. He's already registered. I know he cares about things like hunting. I truly give a shit about hunting. He cares so much about hunting that he became a taxidermist. I haven't talked to him for a long time, but I saw that he's coming and I'm really excited because I don't know if that's what he would want to talk about with other people, but there's something that lights you up. There's something that could be, I don't know, there's so many topics. What completely lights you up? What do you think the world would be better if it had more of, or less of, or more conversation around? Something. There's something out there that is yours. Mine is finding a place we can connect. And so the theme of Chill Out has always been connect, communicate, and collaborate. Because in the best case, we would collaborate with people we learn from and with, and we get to know in a different way. When I know what you care deeply about, I might want to collaborate with you on that. I might say, God, we should do something together. But if I didn't know that about you, and if I didn't know you that way, there's no chance for a collaboration to happen, right? There would never be. How could there be? Because we're all sitting in our own little worlds by ourselves thinking, I can't say this because somebody's going to throw a gotcha bomb at me. This is going to be a completely safe space. Safe space. I am curating the space. Actually, the physical space doesn't even matter. It's what we put into the space. And what we will put into this space is psychological safety, love, I'm going to say it like that, love as opposed to fear, right? There's going to be this space of openness and willingness, at least on my part as the curator of the space and the event. You will be safe there. And if I have to police it, I will, but I won't, because that's how we will attract those kinds of people. In the last 2 years we've had this event, we've had amazing people, and we've gotten to know people. I know most of the people who come, so my joy comes in seeing them connect, because of course that's what I told you I give a shit about, coming together and connecting. It's my event, so I love that. I love observing that. I love being in the space with some of my best, dearest friends who are coming together to make a dent in the universe. Somehow, somehow, very different things we all care about, but what brings us together is that we care about something. We give a shit about something. There's something we give a shit about, and we give a shit about it so much that we're willing to come to Fargo in March. And so, if any of that appeals to you, if you're curious about that, you're watching this live or later, chilloutfargo.com is where it's landed right now. I'm still working on making the language interesting enough to have people go, huh, it would be worth my time and money to come to this event. Because I don't know everybody in the world, of course. And I know there are people in the world who I haven't yet met who would just make my life so much richer if we could be in a space together for a couple of days. And that's selfishly what I would love. I'd love to meet you. If this appeals to you, or there's something that is inspiring you to wonder and ponder differently, please check it out. And if you want more information about it, you can always reach out to me. And if you haven't yet gotten the book, go get the book on Amazon. That's where you can find it. Just give a shit. Or I have them in Fargo. I can, there is mail. I could send it to you. So just let me know. Because in this book, a little spoiler alert, if you come to Chill Out, you'll get one. So that's one of the things that you're going to get in your welcome packet. So if you want to wait till March 7th, or March 5th, I guess it's March 5th is the Wednesday. If you want to wait till then, you can, because I'm going to give you one. But if you want one before then, go out and get one. And then I have a request, I have an ask. If you would write me a review on Amazon, I would love that, because I already told you what I mostly give a shit about. If I could get this book into the hands of people so that they could actually start pondering their own personal give a shit. We've talked about the give a shit factor. Like, what's your give a shit factor? At the end of every section, there's an opportunity. I'm sorry I'm doing this ruffling pages, but there's a section that you can actually use for your own wonder and ponder. What about this could I take action on? At the end of the book, there's a whole section called Now What? Now what do I do with this? Because knowing is great, but insight without action makes no difference. So what are we willing to do if we really have something we give a shit about? And maybe you give a shit about making sure everybody believes the way you do. Maybe that's what you truly give a shit about. And I would ask you, does this space feel right to you? Does this feel like a space where you would want to come and lecture at people? Because that's what happens when I know better for you. I will tell you, and I will make sure you know. If that feels like what we're doing here, check it out. I will tell you that's not the space I'm holding. There will be no lectures in this space. There will be nobody saying, here's the way to do things. I'm going to give you a 5-step things, or 4-step things might occur. Like, you might go, oh, you just said 4 things that were really interesting. I want to write that down. It could occur to you that way, but this is not a conference where people would come and say, I'm going to get a certification in artificial intelligence. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. Things will come out of this that we couldn't have predicted, but you have to be curious enough to want to be in that space and be present in the space where I don't know what could happen, but I know from the last 2 years we've had this event that amazing things have happened. And so I know we can share that in common, even if we don't have formal presentations. So hold on to the space. And golly, I've talked for a half hour. My goodness. Okay, I'm going to stop. So, thank you for those of you who have been here. Nicole, I cannot wait to see what conversations come up. Nicole is on my planning committee. So, yes, Nicole, I know, right? It's just there's so much out there that we can all wonder and ponder about in our own ways. And then we don't, man, it's not about groupthink, everybody. This is not, it's probably the opposite of groupthink. This is like, pick a subject that's important to you, and I will cheer when you say, purple is the color. Everybody, no, he would probably wouldn't say purple. I love purple is what you would say. And I would say, Colin, I so love that you love purple. I just love orange. I mean, man, I love that you love purple because I love your enthusiasm around purple. Because what the world needs more of, in my opinion, is enthusiasm and theos, enthusiasm, inspiration in spirit. I think if the world had more of those things and more safety and more opportunity to meet people who support that kind of thinking, that's the world. Oh, that is the world I live in because I've curated my life that way. And I would love there to be more opportunities like that, especially in my place, in my interest, I suppose. It's business, I told you. You know, it could be religion, it could be government, it could be business, it could be education. Those are probably the four big buckets. For me, it's business. But man, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear your challenges. I want to be in that space with you. So please, please, please consider chilloutfargo.com, March 5th to the 7th here in Fargo. And you'll get a book. You'll get one. So let's come together. Let's see what we could produce and experience together. Thanks for taking the time, everybody. Talk to you again. Bye.